why do we make music? Why don't we just play covers? Or even if we don't play, why don't we just listen to music? Now, from my perspective, some music literally raises goosebumps on my skin when I hear it, right? Or it makes tears well up in my eyes. Music causes cascades of emotional memory, and that's just amazing. And I'm going to put some links in the description. There are some examples, and there are tons of examples, and I tried to pick a few that cover a broad range of stuff, right? So the first example, the Daft Punk song Television Rules the Nation / Crescendolls, right? If you go listen to that track, there's a link in the description. There is my body reacts physically right at 3 minutes and 34 seconds, right around there. It's when the Television Rules the Nation theme, the hook, comes back in after this buildup. It sends chills down my spine, right? You can go check that out. The second one would be the Vangelis song Alpha, which is like this slow burn, this repeating motif that builds and builds and builds and builds. And it sets up this musical expectation of what's going on. And it's really interesting, and it's a good piece of music. But then right around 4 minutes and 12 seconds, he subverts those expectations, and the tune changes slightly into this resolution sort of climactic finish that just makes me cry every time I hear it. I can be driving down the road and I'm playing that song, and, I risk my life because I cannot see when it hits 4:12 and this change occurs because I've got so many tears in my eyes at that point. I can't see the road. I probably shouldn't listen to that while I'm driving. The third example is interesting. If you watch that video with no sound, I don't have an emotional reaction. But if I watch that video with the music playing, I just lose my mind and I weep and I have tears and the chills run down my spine and my goose flesh goes and I basically start hyperventilating. It's just amazing. So you can watch those video examples if you like to. So for various reasons, music can strongly impact our physical and mental state. Well, somewhere along my childhood, I learned that I could also, in addition to listening to music and getting this physical effect, sort of response, I learned that I can also play instruments, right? I was lucky enough to grow up in a house where there were some musical instruments. And when you're learning to play, you mimic the songs that you hear, right? You play along, you learn to play those songs, and you get those feelings, right? You can get those physical reactions when playing. And then eventually, for a lot of people, some people stop there. But in my case, the first thing I ever wrote, I learned that I can write music, okay? Compose music myself. And, it's a progression. You end up making music that sounds really derivative of some other music. And that's fine. That's a normal step. That's not plagiarism, right? It's evolution of your skill set. You make a transition from enjoying music and having a physical reaction to making music and having a physical reaction, right? Some people carry that path along, right? And as you're making music, one of the goals is to make music, your music, that causes you to have that physical reaction, right? When you get to that point, you're like, oh, that is a good lick. I feel good about that. Or that is a good riff or pattern. Or this has a good groove or a good beat. And that's rewarding. And that's why. Let me sum it up. All right. So maybe my reasons overlap with yours. Maybe yours are slightly different. Maybe yours are completely different. But why I make music is because I like the feeling it gives me. I make music because I like the idea that something I made might make other people feel that way too. Right? We are social animals, even the introverts. And I make music now that I'm older. I've got another angle, is that I know that I'm going to die one day, right? If you're, if you're 18 and listening to this, you're in college or university, yeah, you'll live forever. But I'm 51, and things are starting to break, right? So I know I'm going to die one day. And of all the things that I could leave behind, music and the feeling that it creates when someone hears it, I currently think that music, leaving that music behind, is worth dedicating a significant amount of my waking time towards right now. As I get older, it may shift. But for now, I make music because I want to leave a body of work behind that has some sort of impact on people. It's my shot at immortality. I'm not looking for fame. I'm just looking to leave a cache of emotional impact here, and the right people will find it. I get to live on afterwards through the impact that it has on them. So that's why I make music.